China's not easy. China's not easy.
Well, President Trump finally gave us a fair assessment. I mean, did anyone expect the world's second largest economy with strategic autonomy and 5,000 years of diplomatic playbooks to kneel to tariff threats? A China-U.S. deal would be a win-win-win. It could lead to a more stable U.S. economy, a more resilient Chinese economy, and faster global growth. If you look around, Asia-Pacific stocks already rallied. Investors know cooperation beats chaos. I mean, if we, the people, everyday people on the street of Beijing, Hangzhou, Shenzhen, New York, Los Angeles, Detroit, all breathe the same air, drink the same water, benefit from the same technological breakthrough, trade wars poison the well for everybody. If we're all in this together, why waste time on ego and bullying when reason and logic better serve the interests for all of us? Now, many observers say that rare earths has been China's quiet leverage. Your MRI machine, your PET scanner, iPhones, and electric cars all contain stuff known as rare earth minerals. Washington suddenly scrambled to include Secretary Lutnick, U.S. Export Control Chief, who skipped Geneva talks, by the way, to be included in London talks. Now, Washington understands the importance of rare earths, and China has a right to regulate its export because it's dual-use goods. In fact, export controls on dual-use strategic materials are an internationally accepted practice and the legitimate right of sovereign states to safeguard national security. The London framework included ways to address rare earth exports and also, hopefully, America's high-tech ban on China, which has been around for many, many years on end. We will see if a fair arrangement will emerge. Now, on fentanyl, some clear-headed friends have pointed out that it is America's own Hunger Games of sort. The U.S. blamed China for fentanyl flooding its streets.
And let's be clear, China exports only pharmaceutical-grade substances for legitimate medical manufacturing, not finished illicit drugs. Those illicit substances were made by third parties and taken across the border to the United States from other countries.
Now on trade deficit, there is the missing $400 billion. The U.S. obsesses over its goods trade deficit with China. What is it ignoring? Of course, the services trade, where the U.S. surplus is around $27.3 billion, but there's another number that people ignored. U.S. firms in China generated a sales revenue of $490.5 billion, whereas Chinese firms' U.S. sales is only $78.6 billion. Following Trump's logic, this would be a U.S. surplus or a Chinese deficit of over $400 billion. But China never made a fuss about that. All in all, the London talks is a constructive and positive step. They're about admitting reality.
You can't build satellites or electric vehicles without Chinese rare earth minerals. And you definitely can't cry unfair while your firms pocket big profits from services and from doing business in China.
And you cannot inflict pain on the Chinese economy without hurting your own, while also dragging the world economy into a slowdown, if not a recession. So President Trump was right. China is not easy, because nations with 5,000 years of statecraft do not fold to bullying. They negotiate as equals, as that's the only way it works.